It was a She-Ra He-Man crossover.
Yeah, it might be that because they were like the little kid Transformers, and then they're big like monster machines. So it might have been that.
Yeah, I've heard a lot of people say that too. But the only thing I remember is the toy Monstroid never actually showed up in the Filmation cartoon, but they used the name Monstroid, and so like
Right,
now
yeah.
I'm wondering because they calling it the Hordak Attack. Are they using the word? Because I had to like start going through vintage. He-Man Masters of the Universe stuff back. I couldn't think of the name, and I was looking for the image to see if I could, match up a name with an image. Then, finally on one website I had found, someone was selling a Monstroid. I'm like, yeah, that's what they were called. They were called Monstroids.
I'll let you guys know I went live on you halfway through that commercial.
Hello.
But yeah, I want to. I don't know if we think back to the video, Chris. I think I did hear the term Monstroid used.
Yeah, I was hoping so because when I saw that, I'm like that has a specific name. They may have used the Hordak Attack as a code name, like when they called Empire Strikes Back Blue Harvest, so no one really knew what it was going to be. I think they really want to spring the stuff on us because that's what they've been doing. Like with the Scoop Attack, just dropped out of nowhere. This Monstroid set with Hordak just came out of nowhere.
So on that note, I think that slime He-Man is just going to show up any day now. Or I mean, at least it'll just show up in a skull case,
Do you think they'll wait till spring to release that one?
Did you pre-order?
No, I'm kind of trusting that November date.
I forgot what the release date I was promised. All I know is when I saw one up for pre-order, I pre-ordered it.
Oh, so the slime pit's been up pre-order?
Well,
Yeah,
they're calling it the He-Man Zombie Horde Zombie or something. The word slime never actually appears in the title.
Right.
Yeah. So, but they've got a different listing for that skull with the other ones, or is it going to be like the Zodak skull? Is it going to be like just if you get if the shelves are refilled with the new case, then you're going to get the new skull? Or?
I think that's what it is. That's what I was trying to say. That I think it'll just be in a box, in a case with everything else.
I'd be curious as to what the other two skulls will be.
Yeah,
Probably repacks of Zodak Attacks and one of the other.
That'd be nice. I'd like to see more Sky Sleds and more Zodaks.
Those figures are really detailed.
That Monstroid, if you buy enough sets, you might be able to put together a spy door. Do you remember the spy door?
Well, that'll be a lot of sets. So if you want red legs,
well, you got to paint them. You got to paint the legs.
Well, when we wait, do you think we'd get a spy door?
Yeah, I'll just wait.
I didn't think we were going to get a Monstroid.
Neither did I. Yeah, they apparently want to stick with the Mattel stuff because I didn't need a Monstroid, but he's fun.
Well, I think they said in the Paracon video, I think they were saying that they picked this because they could drop Hordak and She-Ra in there.
Yeah. Well, yeah. I would have taken a Filmation vehicle or something.
Yeah.
Over something like this, but I'll take him. He's here. I get my Hordak, and She-Ra's a good bonus, so that's cool.
Definitely.
Well, on the original box art of the Slime Pit, it had the Horde, the evil Horde logo on it, and at the top, who's inflicting the Horde, the slime, is Hordak on the box art, and the victim is Beastman. And like that's the only connection I can see of why we got a Hordak with this Horde Attack Monstroid set to kind of like pair up with that zombie He-Man that is supposed to emulate the slime pit. But you guys have seen some of the images I put up earlier of what I was talking about earlier, that with all the extra bricks I have, I can make a much more vintage accurate slime pit, including better looking slime. Do you have that? Do you see that image or images?
Yeah, I think I saw that one. Yeah, it could be. I mean, yeah, they're definitely skimping on the look here, but
yeah, well, they got a price point. It's about price point today's. They don't want to.
The weird thing is, I'm kind of a fan of this thing.
As is.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't mind them doing a bigger slime pit later, but I mean, the other skulls, like the skull itself, doesn't mean much or do much. It looks cool when you put a bunch together, but it doesn't really help my display of the figure, you know. And this one sort of actually does something. So
yeah, I think they're trying to make the skulls collectible. That you have one of each type. One has got the black hood. One has got a purple hood. One has have a what is that, like a maroon hood? And then there's there's the glow in the dark face, the gold face, the yellowish bone face, and now this new one that's coming out is translucent green. It looks like they're making it out of translucent green plastic.
Yeah, it looks cool.
And now we actually have actual real shots. They're not renders. They're actual photographs now.
Yeah.
But I've got, behind me over here, those are the, it's not really the slime pit, but it's all the extra pieces I would most likely use to build up around that dragon skull and that claw thing. That I would just use those pieces from that new Skeletor headset to put onto this this set I got behind me to make it a much more vintage accurate slime pit.
Oh, it looked pretty cool.
You saw it?
Yeah, I saw it in the chat. Looked pretty good. It's funny. I looked up the Monstroid vintage toy. It looks pretty close to this. It's almost the same little scary face on it.
Yeah. Now, someone said in the video, you can wind it up. Oh yeah, does that slime look better than whatever they got in the skull set?
I don't know.
I see what you're doing with it.
Yeah. See, that's the idea I had in my head. I don't know if it was last week or the week before, when I was saying, like, I got all these extra pieces that I'm assuming would work pretty well. The only thing is that red archway is smaller than I thought it was. Once I put it on, like, I wanted it to be wider. But ideally, I would have to find a bunch of red panels. The smooth, they're smooth on one side, and then there are those angled pieces that it's used to make a 90-degree angle, and you can attach pieces to the front and sandwich it between two other bricks. If I had a bunch of red panels, then I would use those on either side, because the actual vintage piece, it was like a series of red columns on either side, and then it had some sort of a architectural swirls at the top that looked like Romanesque pillars, and the base was it looked more like a volcano kind of thing, where instead I made it out of the different old wall bricks. So it's kind of a custom.
One thing they didn't mention at the PowerCon is if these are going to be available at retail. I'm just wondering if they're going to be available in the big box stores or just online only.
We'll see.
Yeah, my stores they're not ordering. Like I said before, the only stuff I see is 1 or 2 items of Halo, and then most everything else is all Pokemon. None of my stores are getting the Masters of the Universe stuff.
I mean, if this stuff is slated for a spring release, it'll be the January reset if they come to big box.
Right.
Yeah, that's the other thing I'm also hoping. And when I see empty space where Masters of the Universe Mega Blocks should be, that's telling me they're going to restock it eventually. But when they start stocking other product there and there is no actual shelf space, it means they're not going to order it. It's they're just not restocking it.
Yeah.
One thing that concerns me with that Land Shark is those treads. I can't remember if it was Lego or Mega had trouble with the treads breaking on some of their stuff.
Yeah.
I hope that's not the case with that.
Mega
I think that's blue rubber. Do those treads actually move, or is that static? And there's like
No, they
move.
They move and it chomps as it rolls.
That's awesome.
That was
I didn't
part of the
notice
release.
I didn't notice the treads moving, but I think they could. The trick is you saw them move?
Yeah.
In the video, they showed they were pushing it, and
years ago, Mega Bloks had a snow vehicle. It was some UNSC, Snowcat or something like that, and it had rubber treads. You put the spindles together, and the treads actually moved. Do you remember the Scorpion tank? The treads actually rotated. They were made out of rubber, and that's what I'm assuming here is it's molded out of blue rubber, and it's the exact same piece as the UNSC snow vehicle, whatever that's that. I think it was they called it a Wolverine.
It looks like the same size,
right?
I know what you're saying, but I'm questioning though. I know that the jaw went when they pushed it across the table. You guys saw the treads move too?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
I haven't seen the video yet.
Yeah, it is not available on the PowerCon site. I thought it might be posted by now, but it doesn't seem to be anywhere yet.
Yeah, I couldn't find it on YouTube. They had that one zoom flash, and that was it. So you didn't capture it on that video. You were not seeing it.
Yeah,
so some of the pieces that I'm looking at here are completely brand new pieces to me I've never seen before. Like the teeth on the shark mouth. I don't recognize it from any set. But those blue handlebars in the seat area, I recognize those from a Mega Bloks set. I think it was called the UNSC Spade. It had a brush guard in the front. But those are the brush guards from the UNSC Spade.
Yeah, it's one of the things they talked about on the panel yesterday, the PowerCon presentation. They were talking about using as many pieces as they could that were already molded, and then making sure as they designed, the 4 we saw yesterday, and then the Snake Mountain, making sure they're making pieces they can use again, so you don't have too many unique pieces per set.
Yeah, the bottom jaw, I think that's the same piece that they used in the Talon, only it's in purple, and then they're using the exact same piece at the top, but the teeth themselves I don't recognize. And then the purple piece on the back of the head on the top, I think I recognize that from there's a better shot.
Yeah,
I've seen that on a lot of other Halo.
Yeah, that's with Grayskull
Halo pieces.
I think that's part of the Grayskull fangs.
Yeah, that too. I was thinking the same thing too.
Look close at those 2 missiles on the left. I'm just wondering if those launch.
Then Skeletor, he actually has the battle damage on his chest on this character.
Yeah.
Because we already got a battle armor Skeletor, only he doesn't have the battle damage. This one now has the battle damage.
Yeah, I think that's cool.
And then also, I noticed he comes with both the axe and the purple sword. So this will be the second set that has the purple sword. Before it only being the Wind Raider set had the purple sword.
me skip this. That one. Yeah, those teeth. I don't know what those are.
Yeah, I'm imagining they're pliable. I'm guessing they're slightly rubberized.
Although you never know, you can't. This might be a weird mock-up in that they use,
Yeah, may not be exactly what you did. They may be the fake, like the cloth spikes you got with Drogon.
Yeah, well, I'm worried about breakage. If they're rigid, would they be breaking? So I'm just assuming that they would be a softer type of plastic, not so much rubber, but not rigid.
All right.
I did notice the Roboto's chest had the tampa graphs with the gears on it.
Yep. Looks cool.
Yeah, that's what I imagine. That makes sense.
I think there was a close-up here.
Yeah, I did see a close-up. Yeah, it's hard to tell. I'm pretty sure that's the tampa graph, but with the first time I saw that, I was thinking, how did they get the gears inside the body? That it would make sense. It's simply tampa craft.
I think they did say Tampo when we were in the presentation.
Yeah.
So what's Terry saying here? You guys were talking about the Akala Sword too. What is the Akala Sword? The one with Grayskull?
It's the one where the little those little loops on either side of the sword don't actually touch the sword. When you bought the sword that, like, the first sword I got was in the Wind Raider set, that the little swirls, the little S curves on either side of the sword were actually touching the blade, but the one that came with Castle Grayskull, there's a space.
Yeah, I didn't notice that in the presentation, but that's cool to give us another one of those.
See, Chris has joined us in the chat. Say hi to Chris. The other Chris.
Do you think this is the last incarnation we'll get of battle damage Skeletor, since it's got the 2 battle damage markers?
Do you want it to be?
Doesn't matter.
No, there's always Snake Mountain.
They could do the middle one where he's only got 1 strike.
Right. I was thinking the exact same thing. Some other set will come up with one with only 1 strike. So you have all 3. No strike, strike 1, strike 2. It makes sense.
Yeah, I don't know if I need 3 of them, but.
So what parts do you recognize from this set? Those little pieces for the bottom part of the jaw? I really don't recognize those pieces. It looks like they're 4 separate pieces. One has a flat side and then a round piece with 2 attachment pegs where you put the little. I recognize the teeth, but I don't really recognize what the teeth are attached to.
That's like a corner L shape, but it's just got rounded edges instead of square edges.
Yeah, I don't think I've ever seen that piece before. Do you recognize it from another set?
You asking where they're from, Chris?
And then the claws are just like the teeth.
Battlebone's horns.
Yep.
Is that what that is?
Yeah.
Are those 2 separate pieces?
There's 3, and then the bottom part is a 3-sided brick that's angled
with a larger claw.
Yeah,
because those are smaller than the fangs from Castle Grayskull, aren't they?
Are you talking about the claw on the bottom?
Yeah, the claw.
No, those are way bigger.
Yeah, it's nothing that big.
Those are the horns on Battlebones in the middle of his head.
Yeah, that's why I don't recognize it. I don't have that set.
Also claws from some of the old World of Warcraft monsters.
Yeah, and Pokemon, the orange crab guys got those for legs. And actually, there's definitely some of those on the Snake Mountain. Should we just go look at that, or do you want to look at this more?
Yeah.
Because there's a... Where are we? Let's get to the front of it.
Chris is commenting on his slime pit.
I think over if I can see when I look up on the left side where the stairs go up, there's a couple of claws, and I swear that's that part there in blue.
So did they confirm this is going to be sold as one whole set, like Castle Grayskull? And then looking at all that, like, what's the price point going to be? Are they going to want $250 right out of the box?
I mean, I don't think they confirmed anything though. Honestly, they basically just said we're working on it. Here it is, and that was like it.
Yeah, this is what we got.
It's not finalized yet.
Oh no, they'll change this.
Individual results may vary.
And like a lot of people saw this and they're like, "Oh my gosh, why?" I'm like, "Well,
shut up and take my money."
It's not done.
Yeah. If they need some crowdsourcing, they should put this up on a GoFundMe or pre-orders. You know,
I wonder what the rough piece count will be.
Yeah.
I don't know. I looked at this and tried to map out the parts, and I swear it's maybe 40 bricks high. I don't remember how many bricks high Grayskull is.
That was going to be my question.
Yeah, that's where I went with it, but I don't know. You guys should go measure.
I love that they added the snake.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. And I like these big.
Yeah, Grayskull's about 30, 32 bricks.
Okay. And the tiny snake on the vintage playset is just way too small. So I like this.
It'll probably be posable too.
Maybe. Yeah, I bet that top, at least the top part there.
It's even got the lava flow.
I know.
Yeah, right next to the lava flow, you really can't make out unless you know where to look for that gremlin face or troll face or whatever it is. So it looks like that you can see with the eyebrows and like the nose and the beak, but evidently we're not seeing the detail of the eyes. So most likely they'll just be tampagraphs. But now that I pointed it out, you can see that the eyebrow ridges.
Yeah, I see the flat spot where the eye will be printed.
Right. Yeah, right there. Yeah.
And now when he was moving around the video yesterday, that I don't know if it'll stay like this, but that lava spot was actually a third piece. Right. So it was kind of separated. I don't know if they just did that, on what way they were building.
Well, and he also was pulling it apart, kind of like how Grayskull pulls apart into separate towers.
Yeah.
I don't know if he's got one here. I don't think. Might not have it when he was pulling it apart.
Yeah,
there it is. Yeah.
Yeah, that's in like two halves. I don't know. It looked like it was
kind of folded in half.
Yeah. Who else had heard me talk about that before? That for price wise, to actually sell Snake Mountain in multiple sets. That you would have to buy like 4 different sets, and then you can combine it and get the whole Snake Mountain. But some people were talking about, like Earl, when he read what I had said about that was space wise, that it may not be an issue of money, but an issue of space. That you can just buy one of the sets, build the set, and display it, and then build a different part of the set and display it someplace else. That it would all come apart and snap back together into one giant set.
Could, but you imagine how mad people would be if they couldn't get like one of the things.
Yeah, how many sets of 4 or 5 I've got?
Oh my gosh!
Now, I mean, it sounds like a good idea, but as long as they offered all 5 together as a package,
yeah,
I want to order them all.
It's a money making. It actually makes more money if you sell a big set for a certain price. You can actually sell parts of the set for less money, but if you end up buying all the sets separately, you're actually spending more money because like if you break it down and each portion of a set costs $30, but and here's the other thing for making money is if you buy all the sets together in one giant package, it'll come with some type of an exclusive part that won't come unless you buy the big set. but then you can actually buy 4 or 5 different smaller sets that may also have some sort of slight different, exclusiveness to it, that you'll get collectors will actually buy the 5 smaller sets to put together to make the one big set and the one big set. This is that, where, collectors, they're only upset when they can't get the set.
Let's don't complicate it more than it has to be.
Yeah. I think it's going to come out. It's going to be a $300 purchase. It's going to be the adult collectors.
$250.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Although, when you look at the big.
Go ahead, Brian. Sorry.
You look at the big cave thing down on the bottom left there. That's a big chunk of space that's open.
That's the carport.
Yeah. I mean, that might be big enough to where the land shark.
Exactly. Yes, that's exactly. That's where I'm going to park the land shark.
That's one of the things they mentioned was playability. They've got to be able to, put your playability into it as well as to make it, collectible.
Yeah. I'm just saying maybe that's a little less bricks because there's a big, huge hole in it there.
Yeah.
What was that?
Go ahead.
Sorry. Weren't they going to use the horde puppet in that space or something? I swear that was a thing. Because there's a hole there, but it wasn't a very big hole on the toy. I swear that it was supposed to be like some kind of monster coming out of there.
Oh, I see.
You mean the fright zone? Isn't it the fright zone had the?
It did, but I'm saying that
basically, a puppet. It was a puppet.
I think they wanted that for that spot on this vintage set.
Yeah. Also, yeah, right. That's kind of would tie in. If they also did a fright zone set, would they have it designed that you can incorporate the fright zone into Castle? It shouldn't. That's not canon, but it's not about canon. It's kind of the system for the playability.
Yeah, we'll see. I suppose we're getting. I'd rather have the Filmation Fright Zone, but it doesn't sound like they're going that route.
Well, if you were to custom make it, what pieces would you use?
There's a lot of good Lego ones. There's pipes, or they're pin connectors, but they look like pipes in Lego, and you could do some really cool looking industrial pipes.
I got a bag of miscellaneous pieces that I think they're Bionicles, but I'm wondering, like, with some Bionicle pieces might work.
Maybe. Good.
So here's a little clip I stole from the video yesterday.
Back in the day.
Now you see how? Well, no, that's the back of the lava there.
They were just stickers, and we made them as a toy where you could play with you.
So yeah, you should have recorded more, but.
Do you want me to do a shot of the back, or do you got it up there? What are you trying to focus on?
No, I was just showing the video. I was trying to see if that part where the lava flow was same color in the back, but it wasn't. I thought it was. So.
Yeah, I thought I saw the same thing too, but like when I look here,
it's right there in the middle. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not sure how it works. It kind of looks like lights coming through it. So
I just noticed part of Skeletor's table.
I know.
And Skeletor's throne.
Yep, it's all there. Just cool. And then these big old tentacles. They're copying Mark's design there.
Yeah, say Mark's tentacle pit.
You should sue him, Mark.
What is the piece next to that? Next to the tentacles to the left. What is that?
I don't know. I'm trying to figure that out. Let me see if I can zoom it anymore. I mean, I don't think we'll figure it out.
Chris is asking about the size comparison to Grayskull. I think it's going to be similar. It may be larger because it seems to be they're using more larger pieces in this.
Probably taller. I mean, we did talk about, what would you have, 32 bricks you measured?
Yeah, I think it's about Grayskull's about 32, so it's going to come up under about where the bottom of the top of that gate is.
It
So
looks
this is gonna
taller, but
stand-
I don't think it's going to have the bulk that Grayskull does.
Right, because it's, you know, it's not all the same height either. So maybe it's even similar.
But I like this because if you remember on the original vintage set, your only playability was on the front side. There was nothing on the back side, so you've got playability on each side.
No, the throne and the table, that's really awesome. So it'll be interesting. You know, it really is weird though. A lot of these round parts. Okay, I do recognize them. Like the screen that's on the little controls in Point Dread. I'm seeing that little bubble thing in a few places.
Yeah.
That might be what this is, because they got some rounded shapes. That's the back. Where's their front shot? Yeah, they've got a bunch of, if you look in between the two coils of the snake, there's a bunch of rounded shapes there. So
Those are the cheeks of Grayskull, aren't they? I mean, kind of similar piece.
You're right. That's probably it.
So yeah, they're using it like a rock texture.
Yeah.
Kind of makes you wonder how that snake is attached. I mean, is it just friction held or?
I don't know.
I think the bottom coil is just half a snake. The top coil is going to be obviously attached where the black end stops there at the top of the stairs.
Do you see the ball socket joint at the edge between that gray piece and the orange piece? There's it looks like a white ball socket joint right there.
Yeah.
And it's similar to, or maybe larger than, the ball socket joint that was used in the what was that skull skeleton dragon skeleton set?
Oh,
did it have ball socket joints like that?
World of Warcraft? Yeah, I got that one.
Right, yeah. Some of the dragons had big ball socket joints like that. Or the Skyrim set.
Yeah, Battle Bones has got those. Drogon's got them also.
Are they that large?
I love all those spires. I think that adds to the set.
Yeah. And I like the vines too. It's kind of too bad they didn't have any of those on Grayskull. They look pretty cool. I
wonder if that's those flexible tubes that came with the Mega Underwater Inventions. That looks like what those are.
Do you mean that? So, like the set you're using to expand Zodak's set? Is that what you're talking about?
No, at Five Below, when they were selling the Mega Underwater Invention,
I think they are talking about the same thing, though.
Yeah, they came with like really flexible rubber hoses. I think that's what those are.
Oh, it could be.
It looks like the same color.
Yeah, but then in the end, like when I look on the very left, it gets kind of wavy like a snake. So I don't remember what that piece would be.
Talking about, Mark?
Yeah,
Yes. Shows on the back how flexible they are.
You know, those do break though. They use that piece, I think, with Fish Face from the Ninja Turtles thing, and over time they just get like cracks in them.
Yeah, they all do.
Although those were bent, they were literally, they go on Fish Face on the side, so they're almost in a U shape in the position they were in. So just puts stress on them.
So Terry's chiming in on the scale. Says they appear to be modeling Snake Mountain off the Super 7 Classic Snake Mountain. If the proportions hold, it's 1/3 taller. 1/3 taller than Castle Grayskull, I'm assuming.
True. Although, didn't they kind of pump up the mountain side of that, like the Snake Mountain part of it?
Right.
So I don't. This doesn't look quite as tall to me as that. I wish it was. I would like to make that part bigger. I really like that about Revelations too. They stole that design for that too. and had the really tall Snake Mountain, and then the Mattel kind of play set around the back.
All right. Brian, you got any pictures of the staff?
I don't think I do. I think I remembered you had some, so I skipped those. Yeah, this is my whole set there. You know, on the side there, I'm noticing the wolf head. The wolf head's there. It's just in like blue and white.
Yeah, do you see it?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Just kind of have to look for it because it's the wrong color.
Yeah, see, well, yeah, his eyes are blank, and then you can see the beak sticking out. But yeah, it's blue, red, gray.
That, in the original toy, wasn't that supposed to be a microphone you spoke into, and it gave you a scary voice?
Yeah, it was very scary though.
Yeah, because it had like, well, see the white thing on the top corner here. That's the wolf, right? That's the wolf head.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Wonder if you could put a light in there and light the eyes up.
LEDs.
That'd be cool.
There you go. So I'm gonna have a light set for it. Let's see if I can bring up this staff.
So what? Actually, Mark, what color? You said you like the staff. You're wondering about using that for Snake Mountain, but now you don't have to. But is that? And then I saw the color you painted around the grate that you made for Snake Mountain.
Mm-hmm.
Which I liked your purple. What? But you were thinking purple mainly for the rocks of Snake Mountain.
Well, I didn't know. Yeah, I don't think they'll use just one color. I think they'll use a combination of colors.
Yeah.
I mean, if you remember, the original vintage had a lot of gray in it.
Yeah, gray and purple,
black,
and pink and black. Yeah.
So what am I going to do with all these pieces I've got from these? What is the set you're collecting? Yeah, the Monster High sets.
Pump it up. I'm gonna make a hanger for the bottom. I'm gonna make a basement to land.
There you go.
Terrain.
I guess, yeah, like I'm going to do Grayskull's basement. I guess I'll do Snake Mountain's basement too.
Well, I wish they use the same thing, and then it'll be awesome.
Well,
and I remember seeing those Monster High sets on clearance and at the dollar stores, and I never bought them. And like now, I wish I would have bought them because there's a lot of pieces in there that I would have wanted to use today.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
How much did those sets go when you got them on? Did you get them on clearance or did you buy them, brand new?
Not clearance. I mean, they were at Five Below for a long time. So
yeah, I haven't seen them there. I've seen them at like the dollar stores. But I remember seeing them for $5, and like there were 4 or 5 sets, without having to like search around to see where kids have carried them off into other parts of the aisle. But at one point, I was holding the set, and I'm like, I should buy these. There's some good pieces in here I might want to use later. And then I put them down, and they're gone.
The bricks and the blocks are very tight in the ram's horns on that.
Yeah.
I mean, there's no tolerance. Could those pieces be used anywhere outside of that build?
Can you sand them down a little bit?
I'm just saying, could you use it in anything else? I mean, it looks like it was made specifically for that.
No, I swear a lot of those, we were talking about those before, are the 1x4 wedge pieces that come with Grayskull. Like, I think that's how they do the curl of the horn around.
Yeah.
That's almost a bluish looking color.
Yeah, I swear it's one of the halos.
Yeah, it's like almost that halo purple.
There's like 4 shades of halo purple, so it's got to be one of those. It's cool.
But yeah, they had mentioned yesterday that this staff, you would be able to. They said you couldn't spar with it, but you would be able to hold this. You'd be able to, hang this from the wall. You'd be able to hold it for pictures. Yeah, they didn't recommend sparring with it, but it's all that same purple except for the one sticker above his hand right there.
I can hear it. You can hear it too when I describe it. The sound of that thing when someone swings it around and smashes, like onto a tabletop, that I'm just shattering, just pieces flying everywhere.
No good.
It reminds me of, there was a friend of mine who had won in a contest the Mammoth, the UNSC Mammoth from Halo a few years back.
Right.
And they had him live on a live stream like this, when he finally had it built, and he's transferring it from this table to hold up in front of the camera, and he drops it, and you hear that thing shatter.
Yes.
Oh no.
I remember like 5 years later, he's like, "Yeah, I'm still finding pieces when I move furniture." It was, if you know how big the Mammoth is, it was huge, and the thing just shattered. And like, I'm never gonna forget that sound that it made. And when I saw that Havoc staff, I'm like, some kid is gonna swing that thing around, and they're gonna shatter that thing. And then also, they already made a Halo energy sword, and a friend of mine got one of those energy swords, and I'm like, swing it around, swing it around. Let me see it swing it around. He's like, no. The wind would break it.
Did they ever say what the retail on that staff was going to be?
No, wasn't it 50 plus on Amazon?
I would say it's going to be the $50 range. The Halo Sword's 40 or 45. It looks like it's going to be more pieces than that.
How big is the Halo Sword, lengthwise?
Like,
yeah, it's smaller than you think.
24 inches? Is it that long?
Not big enough. It's not big enough. It should be huge.
Brian, swing back to that picture of She-Ra and Prince Adam with the blue shirt on, because they're saying that's a new Prince Adam there.
I thought there was a close up here. There.
There we go.
There. Who was saying what? I mean, I think that's the same vest, just blue.
Is it the same vest? He's got little shoulders on it.
I think that's what it looked like. They were just the solid color on the other one.
I'm trying to see if I got one.
I think that they'd be happy to not spend any more money on it. So.
Yeah, you're right. No, yeah, you're right. Because look, here he is. He's got the little shoulder pieces on. He's got the white top. So this time he's got the flesh. So yeah, it's just a repaint. And then he's got a flesh covered chest piece.
That's such a weird look if wearing the vest with no shirt underneath.
His feet are bigger. So the She-Ra, we're getting a new head, new hair. Other than that, she's just
yeah.
We've seen that skirt before.
What's that, Mark?
New cape.
Yeah, maybe.
This is a different length than the rest of them.
New boots.
I've got a feeling it probably tabs into the back because the hair looks like it's in the way.
There's the sword is just a repurposed mold. Originally, She-Ra had some sort of medallion or something, some sort of an orb on the side of her sword that wasn't on Prince Adam He-Man sword.
Yeah.
Or she's holding it at the wrong angle? Is it on the other side? But I noticed that.
Where are we at? This one? This way, maybe.
They're probably just reusing pieces.
Doggone it. There's two of them. I can't see much more there.
Yeah.
I wonder if those will be the color of the weapons for Adam, because they don't. Black is weird.
Yeah. I wanted to buy. I had seen someone had posted pictures of some knockoff set where everyone's like, "Oh, I want it," and then the person that posted said, "Well, the figures don't actually have moving pieces. They're solid, one solid piece. They're figurines, and they look exactly like the Mega Bloks figures." And my comment was, "The ebony blade! I must have the ebony blade!" And it was He-Man's sword casted in black plastic. And I'm like, now that I've seen that, I want that, even though I know it's a knockoff. And I've never seen it in stores. I don't know where to order it. but I would buy that set for $20 just for that black plastic the ebony blade. And now when I see that, I go, the ebony blade. But it's more of gray. It's like a dark gray smoke.
So can we tell us? I might have just missed what you guys were talking about. Shearer's sword, is that just a gold color print of his?
It looks like it.
Okay.
Yeah. I think it's the Castle Grayskull sword. Like I was saying before, because it's at a funny angle, I can't tell if those little S curves, are they touching the blade or is there a gap? Like with the sword that came with Castle Grayskull is actually, as far as I know, at that point, an exclusive. That specific sword only came with Grayskull. All the other swords we get are a slightly different mold, and so I'm wondering, because of the angle, did they give her the Grayskull mold? Only it's molded in, I'm guessing, brown plastic with gold paint, or is that gold plastic with brown paint? It's probably brown plastic and gold paint.
Weird thing, I think it looks like the new Adventures sword in terms of color. And I can't remember, did the She-Ra toy was the sword that color on the toy?
I think
That's a good question.
I don't remember myself.
Yeah, what about the
They need to
internet
make-
here?
need to make-
See,
make
I would
different.
assume it was like chrome or something.
I remember it being gold, but
Yeah.
it's been a while.
So one thing I did want to touch on also, Brian, you watched the video yesterday when it was live, is that correct? Well,
Yep.
when it was first played. Did you hear them talk about how they said that Grayskulls were going to become available again?
Yeah, they said they were. Or
They were
like
talking about
continuing.
what I picked up made it sound like they were going to start
Mhm.
reproducing them. You
Yeah,
know, or
well,
they're sitting on a ton and they're going to start letting them out again.
For the year.
Yeah, for into next year. But I don't know if they're sitting on them, but they're selling well, and they're just gonna keep making and selling for at least another year because they're doing well.
Yeah, I wonder. I don't know. I wish it had been live. I would have asked the question: do you feel like the distribution? I mean, if sales were lower than expected, is that because the distribution was not there? I mean, you know, I never saw a Grayskull set in a store. You know, I ended up getting mine off Amazon.
Yeah, well, apparently they sold well enough, though. I mean, and apparently they must be happy with Amazon's numbers.
They must be.
I'm guessing that's
Either way. Did you hear about the people who are buying them off Amazon? They're actually being shipped from the UK
Yeah,
over here.
it's great.
So, yeah, you buy it on American Amazon, and they're like, "Okay, that's coming from Europe. It'll be here in 3 weeks."
How much are they charging for shipping?
Amazon's
Free.
sucking that up. Yeah,
It's
so
free. Yeah, the
the
same-
post office.
Sorry, it's
Oh.
the same story as the Game of Thrones castles. They were shipping
I
that
have
from
a
over
Prime
there, too.
membership, but some items that I'm buying on Amazon, they're still charging me for shipping, and I'm like, I understood that there was no shipping charge because I'm a Prime member. How are they charging me
Oh,
shipping?
now
Am I
they're
getting screwed?
they're starting that crap now,
No.
where if you're a Prime member, they want to put a box together for you and then ship the one box every couple of weeks. That's the
No.
free shipping idea now.
I think that's an option. I don't know. Who
Really?
knows?
Did any of you guys order the Game of Thrones castle?
No, not me.
I never had the money when it was available.
Yeah, not the space either.
What color are the bricks?
Gray, I
Kind of
believe.
gray.
I could probably build 2 of them myself already.
They're Ninja Turtle sewer gray. They're the exact same color.
Oh, I got it covered.
Man. So I'm gonna guess. Actually, Nate, when actually did Did all you guys buy? How many of you guys like pre-ordered Grayskull before it came out? Did all you guys do that?
Can't remember.
Yeah, I got it on sale for I think 170 something, about 180.
Yeah, that's what I paid.
You didn't
And I ordered it from Walmart online.
Yeah, the pre-order was $250, but I think that started in January. I don't remember how far in advance it was, but I'm kind of hoping that Snake Mountain's pre-orders are launched in January. It could be if they're coming out next fall.
That would be sweet.
Although they don't have, I don't know, they don't have a color model yet, so I don't know what that means with that big of a set. But they, you know, they didn't have a final version yet. Or maybe they do. You never know. Maybe they're showing us that version because, I don't know, they can change whatever they want to from that version.
Well, that set has to go from design to production. Production has to decide how many of these can we make in what color, how many new pieces do we need to make in a new color, how much is that going to cost, and then they come back with a total price, and then it'll get adjusted again. You know, because then management will be like, okay, we got to keep this down reasonable. You know, I don't see them releasing a $500 set because all the pieces are specially made. They'll want to keep it down, and then they'll keep going back and forth. So yeah, I think next year PowerCon or something, you know, we'll see the actual released product, and then it'll go into pre-orders maybe next Christmas.
Yeah.
Who posted the pictures of the Clawful? You saw the pictures of the Clawful character they're working on?
Oh, that's Mark, isn't it?
That's something I found on Colts.
Yeah, it's just a 3D model.
Did you notice what's up with those feet? I don't know if you had noticed the shape of the feet wouldn't work with the you know, the brick system, that the way that middle toe sticks out, it would interfere with you know, where the pegs fit together on the bricks.
Maybe.
That was one of those questions I had a while back. Are they eventually going to incorporate a ankle pivot like the Call of Duty characters, that they can still have, you know, those claws facing forward, but then you slightly, you know, pivot the ankle so it'll fit on the pegboard. But that was the first thing I noticed when I saw those renders of Clawful's feet. They're making Clawful's feet look like the vintage toy, but the vintage toy foot doesn't really work with the peg system that Mega Bloks uses.
No, they
because of the shape.
Maybe not. I'm looking at Trapjaw here, and if you look under his foot, that's not a normal. It's bigger. It's like the full fit. You can literally move him on a stud. You can slide him back and forth. Because there's a little more room underneath a foot. They might be able to make that and get that toe in there, like you're talking about.
Yeah, because I was worried about that, you know, from the very beginning when I had saw some of the the concept customs that they had did. I guess it was the PowerCon 2019. And that was, you know, one of my concerns is how is that foot going to fit in the peg system unless they'd figured out some way to adjust it so it'll actually snap onto the peg system.
Well, that's
And
true.
the first thing I'm thinking
like
is, you know, a pivot.
With a Skeletor foot, you've got to get the two toes around the stud in front of it.
Right, yeah. He's got that extra wide toe.
You know, there is a way around that. You can just put a single stud under the foot, and it just raises it up enough to where it, you know.
Yeah, well, like the picture we got here where he's on their little stand. It doesn't matter as long as he stays on that little stand. But if you were to, you know, put him on some part of the play set where there's, you know, multiple studs, then you remember some of the older play sets they had years ago, like with the Dragons set, that some of the play bases, it didn't have an entire field of studs. The studs were sporadic, where if they brought that back, which I wish they would, I would really like to see them bring back some of those those big plates. They were big rectangular plates that had all the studs on them, and they were semi-interlocking. Whenever I see those at a good price on eBay, I'll buy those. I probably got like a dozen of them now.
Oh yeah, we've all got stacks of them, and the train plates.
Yeah, I got pounds. I measure my blocks in pounds.
I'm looking at Skeletor's foot. I think they can do what you're saying. They'll fudge it a little bit. They can make it fit even with a full plate of studs. They'll just kind of reorient it a little bit.
That's another thing they hit on that video yesterday, Chris. The designers were talking about that clawed foot where you've got your got your space for the stud. It may not be authentic for every character, but it's what works for them. So therefore they will put that in a lot of the characters. So you're either going to get the boot or you're going to get the claw.
Yeah.
And that's the mold they've got. That's what they're going to make.
Yeah.
So
what I remember from the vintage, it was Whiplash and Buzz Off. I remember specifically had the same foot, and then the thigh had like fins that stuck out on the sides of the thighs. Yeah. But I don't remember what Clawful's foot was supposed to look like. Like the custom I did, he just has, it's a Skeletor foot, and I'm happy with that.
Right.
Yeah, Clawful had the same Buzz Off foot, but there are also variants where I think he had the Skeletor foot. So.
Okay, that's why. That's why. Either way, anatomically, the vintage foot that has like the one claw in the middle, that's so anatomically unattractive. But I don't think that's what they were going for. I don't think they were going for attractiveness. It just looked really uncomfortable. I mean, imagine stubbing your toe.
Well, it makes me wonder if they'll. I don't know. I mean, maybe they'll do it, but is it only those 3 figures? Because that's. Although, shoot, they did that for Triclops, Man-E-Faces, and Roboto. They got their special legs and thighs, but they used it for 3 guys, so they could justify it. So maybe we will get it.
There you go.
Mm-hmm.
All right,
yeah. That's why I was saying we'll probably never get a Ram Man, because Ram Man is that unique that there's no other character other than the color variation that has there was a orange pants Ram Man that was in the cross sell art, but I don't know if the toy was ever produced. But I've seen images of Ram Man with orange pants.
I think he was the prototype, at least.
Yeah. Now they made a smaller Game of Thrones. They made Tyrion, so I think they could use those shorter legs and put a Ram Man body on the top.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, give you the same kind of idea. I don't know. We'll play around with it. Well, gentlemen, I'm going to end the live broadcast. Thank you, Chris, Terry, for joining us in chat. Thank you, gentlemen, for joining me on the panel again. And we will see you next time.